Greetings and welcome to the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. These are all the things that we can't necessarily or just don't fit into our subject matter during our weekly show, The Mind of an Entrepreneur. And we're currently doing what I'm calling our Mode Today series on Black Muslim businesses. It's the hottest show on IG Live, and so I want you to join us here. That's Wednesday at noon. Assalamu alaikum. Good morning, Brother Lamont. I am Marissa Wells. Good morning, Financial Architect 555 Aletha. Good morning, Mom. Point Praise 2. Good morning. Assalamu alaikum. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit today, Natural Skincare Chick. Hey, Misty. We're going to talk a little bit today about, oh, y'all see my Queen Is I cup? So go to Queen Is I if you don't have that. I'm going to play us a quick 4-minute clip. Good morning, Brother Kevin. I'm going to play us a quick 4-minute clip on just taking that leap. And we're going to talk today about moving with intention. Thank you. I love this cup. I collect coffee cups. I just picked up some beautiful china and porcelain gold-laced china cups. Assalamu alaikum, Fab 5 Consulting. Good morning. I just picked those up for our high tea events that we're going to be having at Sajdah House. So make sure you get on my mailing list. Join the Sajdah Circle of Winners. Text Do For Self to 855. Wait, I'll put it up there while we listening to this, okay? Because I can't remember it all of a sudden. Okay, so let's do this. It's 855-574-9099, but I'll put it there. But listen to this. Give me a thumbs up. Y'all not gonna chip and dip me today. I want to hear some comments, and I want to see some comments, and I want to see some participation. We getting all this life-changing stuff for free over here. I told y'all the game is free. I charge for services because when I was coming up and as I move forward, what I cannot stand is for people to withhold game, but then they try to tell you what you should do. Well, if you got the game and you my sister and you my brother, give me the game. And so I said, you know what? When I get to a certain point, I'm going to give the game away. But the services will be what I'll charge for. So if you want me to come in and help you with your brand, if you want some business coaching and consulting, if you want me to use my business intuitive skills, if you will, to help you move to that next level, if you need me to bring in a team of people, financial planners, industry experts related to your business and whatever it is you're trying to do, hit me up, mindofanentrepreneur@gmail.com. Those services I charge for. Keep coming here, join the Sajdah winning circle of winners. This game is free. All right, so check out this. I'm going to give you a little game right here. Give me a thumbs up if you can hear this.
I'll tell you something that every successful person has to do, including you. Believe it or not, every successful person in this world has jumped. I'm going to tell you what I mean.
Thank you, Point Praise.
You are going to have to jump. You cannot just exist in this life.
Thank you, Mom.
You have got to try to live. If you're waking up thinking that there's got to be more to your life than it is, man, believe that it is. Believe in your heart of hearts that it is. But to get to that life, you're going to have to jump. Now, I'll tell you why I call it jumping. When you see people in life, when you're standing on the cliff of life, and you see people soaring by, and you see people soaring, going to exotic places, you hear about them doing wonderful things. Maybe you look up the street and your neighbor just gets a car every year, every 2 years. You know, how is he doing that? Have you ever thought, maybe this person right here has identified their gift and is living in their gift? You just got to quit looking at gifts as running, jumping, singing, dance. It's more than that. It's if you know how to network, if you can connect dots, if you draw, if you teach. Some of y'all fry chicken better than anybody else. Bake pie. Some of you cut hair, color hair. Your gift, not your education. You go get an education, that's nice. But if you don't use your gift, that education only going to take you so far. I know a lot of people got degrees, man, that they ain't even using. It's your gift. But the only way for you to soar is you got to jump. You got to take that gift that's packed away on your back. You got to jump off that cliff and pull that cord. That gift opens up.
I hope y'all heard
and
that.
Provides the soar. If you don't ever use it, you're going to just go to work. And if you're getting up going to work on a job every day that you hate going to, that ain't living, man. You just existing. At one point in time, you ought to see what living's like. But the only way to see what living's like, you got to jump. And here's the problem. We'll just be real. When you first jump, let me tell you something. Your parachute will not open right away. When you jump, it's not going to open right away. You're going to hit them rocks. You're going to get some skin tore off on them cliffs. You're going to get all your clothes tore off. You're going to get some cuts on you. You're going to be bleeding pretty bad. But eventually, the parachute has to open. That ain't a theory. That's a promise. Here's another thing. You can play it safe and deal without the cuts and the tags. And you can stand on that cliff of life forever safe. But if you don't jump, I got another promise I can make you. Your parachute will never open. You'll never know. If I were you, I would jump. Because that's the only way to get to that abundant life. You got to jump, man. You got to take a chance. Now, when I get through talking, there are those of you who discuss this in the car. Well, I got bills. Whether you stay on the cliff or you jump, you're going to have bills. Well, if I quit my job, I'm going to ruin my credit. If you got a job, you live in check to check. Even if you got A1 credit, you can't buy nothing else no damn way. At one point in time, man, do yourself a favor. Before you leave this world, before you die, jump. Just jump one time. Just jump. Thank you very much.
Did y'all hear that? He said jump. And I wanted to add to that, or add on to that, because I like the way he described jump. And how you're going to jump, let me tell you something. I done jumped and busted my head. I done jumped and broke my arm. I done jumped and got all skint up and scabbed up and messed up. All of that. But you got to jump. And in that jumping, in that process of even saving yourself and trying to figure out how to soar, you will then have to rely on gifts that you have that you didn't have to rely on before. See, one of the curses of not doing for self is that you don't really get to dig deep into who it is that you really are. And the scary thing about it is we begin to build an entire lifestyle, an entire mindset, an entire flow of life using deceptive intelligence that makes us think that this life that we're living is okay. If you all don't have a copy of my book, that's it. That's a copy of it back there. It's available on Amazon. You should go and get it. Inshallah, early next year, I'll be putting out the second part of that. But if you join the Circle of Winners, you'll get a notice about that. But you should get a copy of that book, because for me, my gifts have burned. Let me say it this way. You know how a person say when they get money, or somebody get money, it burn a hole in their pocket? I'm like that with my gifts. My gifts and my calling and my desires, they burn a hole in me, and they have been for my entire life. And so I've been jumping and leaping and taking chances. I'm really not the person to play it safe. I'm careful so that stupid things don't happen, right? But I've always been jumping and taking that leap my entire life, because I always felt and believed that I was put on this earth for a reason. I came here for a reason. I came here to accomplish something. There are things that I'm supposed to do. There are people that I'm supposed to help. There are things that I'm supposed to have and prove really to the world on this planet. That's just been something that I know. And I had to just keep digging through. You know, there's a gift that I have that I had to learn, that I had to uncover and unearth myself. And it was born in, or it was disguised in, what I felt was an insecurity. Not what I felt was an insecurity, what was an insecurity. And some of you have heard me talk about this on the Sajdah, on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show, which you can click the link in the bio and listen to past episodes of that too. It's also available on Spotify as well. But I'm a very sensitive person, and that always bothered me. I hated being sensitive, and many of you have heard this story. And so I figured out how to take that sensitivity and say, you know what, how can I use this in business? How can I use this to read situations? How can I use this to see the next chess move, to see around the corner? And it started, and the way it was able to be unearthed was through intention. And so I set an intention. I said, Allah, I know you had something you wanted to communicate when you brought me into this world. And if I can unearth these gifts, I promise you, I will use them for you. I will use them to allow you to express who and what it is that I am. But what that meant was I had to take those leaps. I had to take those jumps. Some of you are sitting there right now on multi-million-dollar talents. You got multi-million-dollar ideas, but you're stressed out. You're tired. You're prematurely aging. Why? Because you live in a state of resistance. You got a job you don't like. You're in a relationship you don't like. You got friends you don't like. You in a whole environment that you don't like. And you're saying to yourself, it'll get better. It'll get better. Or this is what I got to do. But you know what? Living in that state, and it might very well get better. I'm not saying that it won't. It may very well get better. It may turn around, but it may require just a little bit of adjustment on your part. The reason why you're not feeling good is because you're resisting this lifestyle that you're in, and resistance is stress. Just means you're pushing against something. So imagine pushing against a wall. That means that you're putting stress on the wall. And when you push against that wall, you're putting stress on yourself as well. That stress then is manifested in the form of fear and worry and discomfort, not really being able to be yourself. So when you're in that position, now let's talk about what that's doing to you physically. It's raising your blood pressure. It's keeping you with excess weight. Why? Because you're holding, you're stressing, you're in fight or flight. You don't want to let go of anything. You don't want to let go of what's bad because you're afraid of losing what you think you have. And we run the risk of dying and never having even actually enjoyed life. So find something in life that you enjoy. Find a gift or talent about yourself and milk it. Take advantage of it. Expand it. Jump. Take that leap. But we have to stop sitting there playing the same tape recording in our mind over and over again. See, this is what happens. Assalamu alaikum, Sister T. Happy Saturday. This is what happens. we live in a world, those of us in the Nation of Islam, we know that this world is based on Yaqub's mind. And some of you have heard it expressed, if you know the Willie Lynch letter, and that those concepts that were used to enslave us. So when you're a slave, you don't have to think for yourself. You don't have to have intention. You just do what somebody tells you to do. You don't like it, but you just do it. And you just keep doing it over and over and over again. And then you have the same cycle of health problems as everybody else who's a slave. You die early. Why? Because of the stress, the resistance. You're constantly in fight or flight. When you're in fear and in fight or flight, or in a position that you don't like to be in, your gifts, your soul feel like they have to survive. So now you're in survival mode. What happens when you're in survival mode? That means that all the blood that flows through you from, that your heart pumps through your arteries and your veins begins to go to your big muscles, right? So that you can jump, so you can win, so that you can run, so that you can get away, so you can save yourself. And so that adrenaline is always pumping. But first, let's talk about the blood. That blood begins to go to the muscles, your thighs, your calves, your biceps, anything that's going to help you get away. But what then happens? It temporarily is designed to take blood flow away from your vital organs. So now your brain's not really getting the blood it deserves. Your heart's not getting the blood it deserves. Your liver's not getting the blood it deserves. Your kidney's not getting the blood it deserves. Why? Because all the blood in your brain, in your body, is designed to go someplace that's going to allow you to survive. So you have to give yourself some relief. You have to learn how to look at your life vibrationally. You cannot live in that state of mind. That is not a sustainable state of mind. Some people say, well, I'm relaxed when I go home. No, you're probably not. Because you're working a job all day that you don't feel like deserves you. You feel like you shouldn't be in. You go home to an environment that you are too busy and you can't even make your own. So you're always uncomfortable. So you got to go somewhere to give yourself some relief. Then what happens? Your adrenaline is always pumping and flowing. Not to mention, we ain't even talking about the media out here. Your adrenaline is pumping and flowing. That's activating your hormones. Everything is all out of whack. Your estrogen, your testosterone, your adrenal gland is just pumping, pumping, pumping. Now, you live in that state, you don't really know how to go back and forth. See, you got to get out of that state because you want to know when you really are in danger what to do. But when you live in this world that makes you afraid, you're afraid to do something because you think somebody's going to take something from you. You're afraid to lose something. And so then, you know what they say, hurt people hurt people. So you live in the predatory world, you become brainwashed that that's the way to do things, and then you become a predator yourself. What does that mean? You start trying to take advantage of people. You're always trying to get over. You're trying to get something for free. You're trying to see who you can steal from, how you can take something. What we're talking about here today is adopting a new way of living and a new way of thinking that will relieve you from some of the stress so that you can use that magnificent brain that you have to create. But if you don't let go of the way of thinking of this world, if you will always be striving for safety. And what you don't realize is that if you've put your life in the hands of somebody who would take so much from you, you ain't safe no way. You're not. And so you have to learn to jump. You got to learn to, or prepare to jump even. Even if jumping is too big of a word, prepare to jump. You know what? I'm lining myself up because I'm going to quit this job because I got this entrepreneurial endeavor I'm about to go in. You know what I used to do? I've probably been in every multi-level marketing business, but what I would do is I would set up smaller businesses. And because I was afraid at that time to jump. And so I would jump, but it might be a little. And so even though my gifts and my desires are burning a hole in my heart, I'm like, I got to do something. So some of those smaller things I say, okay, how much is my cell phone bill? Okay, cell phone might be $150 a month. Let me see if I can start a business that will pay my cell phone business a month. Let me see if I can get this cell phone bill paid through something other than my job. Whether I'm knitting, crocheting, if I'm selling coffee mugs, whatever I'm doing, let me see if I can get that paid. And then I say, okay, got that. What about my cable bill? My cable bill is, let's say that's $152. Okay. Now I'm like, all right, I got to get $300 from this business to pay for those two bills. And then you just build yourself up like that. Next thing you know, your side hustle or your other business is paying these other bills. Now you start trying to figure out, okay, how can I pay the mortgage? How can I pay the rent? How can I pay a car note with this other business? And you start building, because really all it is you're just really working to expand your mind. I call that micro expansion. What it is that the reason why you can't get this side business to pay those small bills is because you haven't really expanded your mind that much. But once you expand your mind, it will never go back. Some people say a wallet once expanded will never go back. Why? Because they know that once the mind is in a certain place, you can never go back to that. So that's how you do it in smaller increments. You want to make sure that when you're doing that in smaller increments, you take a moment before you even start that process and set your intention. My intention of this business is to pay this cell phone bill. And then once you start doing that, then you go to another intention. My intention is to pay the cell phone bill and the cable bill. And then you might say, my intention is to put my children through college, or my intention is to do whatever. Whatever that intention is. See, you should never move forward with any venture without setting an intention. If any of you know that work on teams with me, I spend time before we work on something big, before we do something, setting the right intention. And so I talk to my team. Hey, here's our intention today. And I set my intentions even down to how I want to feel. How will I feel when my side hustle can pay my cell phone bill? How will I feel? Well, I'll feel validated. I'll feel loved. I'll feel like God is with me. I'll feel excited. I feel like, man, finally, whatever that feels like. And then I start putting that intention into what it is that I'm doing. So my mind is already at the finish line while I'm working through the details on how to go forward, on how to get there. So what is my intention? How will I feel when my cash flow is at $10 million a quarter? This is how I will feel. And sometimes if you can't expand how you feel, if you are using the same adjectives for $1 million a quarter as you are $10 million a quarter, or extra $1,000 a quarter as you would $10 million a quarter. See, the mind really doesn't know the difference. You tell the mind. But if 10 million is too big for you, then you'll introduce doubt. So in my case, I'm talking about 10 million. So what is my mindset? Well, sometimes I have to go to think about, what will I do with that 10 million? How many people will I be able to support? How much knowledge will I be able to share? How much more can I express who I am and what God has put in me? How will I feel when I'm expressing that? When I'm supporting more people? When I'm helping more people? See, I can do that and put $10 million in my mind or $1 million in my mind. See, all these computers we walk around carrying and talking on, it's all based on your mind and the mindset. So now, what's the process? The process is figuring out, what do you need to tweak in yourself to do a better job at being the person you showed up on the planet to be? It ain't about nobody else. It's about, what can I do? And guess what? When you start to get right in your mind, the people around you who are not right, they'll either get right or they'll disappear. Let me say that again. Once you get right in your mind, you set your intention, you start feeling good about yourself. I don't care if you just use the Jesse Jackson phrase, I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody, and I am worth whatever it is that I'm worth it. I'm worth it. I can do this. And so then once you start practicing that, people will fall away from you. People will come towards you. People will get right. People will change. And you'll figure it out. But as you're on that journey, then you start trying to figure out places where you can do a better job at creating. How can I set up my bedroom so that I can have a beautiful space to create and to think and to tweak my mindset? Man, I'm having so much fun with my mind and enjoying what my mind is producing. Let me set up different rooms in my house so I can just go there and produce, and it's fun. And I can have a good time. I'm excited to see what this new mindset will produce. See, get excited about your self-improvement. Get excited about your intentions. Get excited about yourself. And when you get excited about yourself, your whole body, every cell in your body will respond. Your organs will respond. Your liver will respond. Your kidney will respond. Your heart will respond. Your eyes will get brighter. You'll look better. Your skin will respond. You don't believe me? Stress out. And see, don't you break out, or your heart starts to beat, or whatever way your body communicates to you that you're slightly in out of alignment. So you match yourself. Yes, that's right, Sister T. Match yourself with the vibration of what it is that you want. And don't say to yourself, I know how to do that. I do this. Because if you were doing it perfectly, then you'd already be in the exact position that you want to be. See, this is an evolutionary process. It evolves. So you have to continue be growing and changing. I'm not the same person I was when I woke up at 4 a.m. this morning. If you saw me yesterday afternoon, I'm already different this morning. Why? Because I'm constantly tweaking. There's constantly some thought. Even if I woke up and just didn't move yet, there was some thought that popped in my mind that I either decided to expand or to transform. One or the other. And so I'm always evolving, always changing, always doing something different and flowing. Because thoughts come in your brain based on experiences and situations. And you know what? God is so magnificent. Because there's really no such thing as our quote unquote free will. See, what this world does is it mimics God's way and makes us think that it's God, but it's not. But here's what's interesting. God knows exactly what circumstances to set up, because he knows exactly how you may or may not react. okay, I know she's going to react like this. This will be my opportunity to teach her, to help her to expand, to help her to do more. And so every big decision you make, every big conversation you have, every big move you make has to involve a mental shift, another way of thinking. If you've been in the same situation each and every day, each and every year, that's because you've been thinking the same thought or submitting to some same thought over and over and over. See, you can make the difference. I used to always say, people would say to me, why did you become a consultant? And first off, why did you initially become an auditor? Why did you go into public accounting? And then why did you then choose consulting? Because people would see me, I was on the road for over 7 years straight, going from business to business to business, learning myself and learning the trade. That's why now I can say I'm a business intuitive, because there's not an industry that I probably was not assigned to a project on. And that's not fake, and that's real. All the projects that the white boys didn't want, they'd be like, oh, Wendy, we got something for you. They patch it up, make it look good, and I go for it. But people would ask me, why did you choose that? Because it seems so rigorous. And it was very rigorous. I chose it because the alternative was going to the same desk every day, year in and year out. And I was afraid of that. And I was afraid of what that would produce. And because I was afraid of that, I just said, I can't do that. I got to find something else. I got to find a different way to move. And if at least I'm changing environments, I'll be required to grow. I'll be required to change myself so that I can navigate and be successful. And that was my thought pattern behind it. So I developed a muscle, because in those environments, you're not safe. See, when you go to the same job every day and you do the same thing, there's a certain safety net there. But when I worked as a consultant, there's no safety net, because you're in a different environment every day, or sometimes every week, sometimes every month. Just depends on how long the assignment is. But you're going to be in positions where people don't like you, especially when you go into the consulting world. Kind of when you're the auditor, people kind of go, oh, okay, that's the auditor, and they see you up here. But as a consultant, you could be there because of a merger, because of an acquisition, because they're dissolving a company, because something bad happened. And from that, I started moving into crisis management, really just helping people make decisions and get themselves in or out, or prevent them from being in trouble. And I did that for companies as well. I do that for companies as well. And that's important, to be able to have somebody that can analyze your situation and help you see what your intent, help you develop an intention or identify an intention, and then make a decision on what direction you should go in. So that was my goal with that. Now, everybody can't do that. Everybody can't jump out there and go into consulting. Everybody can't, but everybody has situations around them. People are always coming in front of them. Things are always changing. And so you do have to figure out, who do you need to be in order to have the things that you want? You might be eyeing a Rolls Royce. You might be eyeing a new house. You might be eyeing a new outfit. Who you need to be? And try that. Don't go to the predatory way and say, well, I want that new outfit, I'm just going to go steal it. Or I'm going to go steal the money to get it. Or I'm going to go beg somebody for the money to get it. Pick something small. Just say you say, you know what? I want me a commemorative Elijah coin. They're $375. I don't have that right now. Let me figure out, what do I need to tweak? just to get that commemorative Elijah coin. And you may be saying, well, what I need to tweak is that I need the $375. Okay, so let's reverse that. Why don't you have the $375? Why don't you have it? Well, because I don't make enough money on my job. Okay. Why is that the only income you have? Well, because I haven't done something else. I also make coffee mugs, okay? And I haven't really been making them because I haven't really felt like it, and because I've been so sleepy at night or whatever, and I just haven't done it, okay? Why? Well, because I didn't put a plan together, because I'm really afraid to get it started, because I can't really start it at the level that I want to start it at. I can really only make 4 or 5 cups at a time. Okay, now we're getting to something. Okay, what's wrong with making 4 or 5 cups at a time? Well, that's not big enough. I want to go big. I want to make pallets of it. Okay, so what's stopping you? Well, because if I can only make 4, I don't want to do it. Why don't you want to do it? Because I don't want people looking at me. She just a little cup maker. She just, there it is. You worried about how people going to see you. You don't want nobody to see you struggle. You don't want nobody to see you with your skint up knees and arms because you took the jump. Like Steve Harvey said in the video at the beginning, you took the jump and you skint your knee. You scabbed yourself. Maybe you don't look as pretty because you hustling. You don't want anybody to see that, because you want to create this illusion that you're doing so much. You're doing so well. You're this big time business person. And so you want to create that illusion. Well, guess what? Start with the 4 cups. Start with something small. So you know what? I'm going to produce these 4 cups, 4 coffee mugs, and then I'm going to sell those, and then I'm going to produce 4 more and 4 more. Next thing you know, that 4 becomes 14, then 40, then 44, then 400, 4,000. But you got to take it all the way down to that little mustard seed. What's holding you back? Well, because on this job, I've been there so long, I'm sort of like the subject matter expert, and everybody likes me. Everybody thinks I'm all that. My boss, he's so confident in what I'm doing. He knows I'm competent, so he really never is even there. So I feel like I'm the boss. Okay. So that feeling of feeling like the boss and being in charge and being so comfortable and being the smartest person is really an insecurity that your ego is helping you to cover. Because what the real deal is that because you're using that as your deceptive intelligence to prevent you from doing what it is that you know you're supposed to do. You like that false feeling. I'm so smart. I'm all that. I'm so competent. And that egoic mindset has you trapped in that same position where you're going to the same desk, to the same office, working for the same boss who already knows that you can do this little job with your eyes closed, so they don't even have to check on you. You ain't got no supervisor. You're comfortable. But what is that also doing? What you should be doing, and I'll tell you what I did in situations like that. I used that time, like when I was on the road, I started building businesses. I wrote thousands of pages for my book series. I started doing that. But what are you doing while you're in this comfortable job? What are you doing? Are you just doing that, going to work, getting that egoic feel, feeling safe, and then getting off complaining? That's why you ain't moving nowhere. That's why you stuck in the quicksand. That's why you sitting there like a little bird, chirpy, chirpy, hoping that somebody just drop a worm in your mouth. And guess what then happens? Here comes the predator with the worm. You want the worm? You want the worm? Move over here. Move over here. Now they start telling you what to do, moving you around. And you've wasted your entire life, all that talent, everything that you can do, because you're chasing a worm that you could have got on your own. So what I'm saying is, let's break out of this stuff. and we start breaking out first in our mind with our intention. See, a lot of us know all this stuff theoretically. So you have to ask yourself, there's a gap between the theory that you know and what you're manifesting and what it is that you can do. When I had that gap, I had to say, okay, how do I close that gap? All right, let's start with emotions. Well, I started studying emotional intelligence. I went to the study guides. Then I started studying. Something about emotional intelligence stuck out at me. And I said, okay, let me go deeper into this. And I got going deep into it. I became a certified emotional intelligence coach in 2 different modalities. And I started seeing the gap close a little bit. I'm emotional about certain things. How do I learn how to manage and use my emotions as my compass to tell me where I am? See, because if I felt myself in a state of panic, instead of making a decision in that state of panic, I said, okay, the panic is telling me where I am, either mentally, physically, or emotionally. Now I got to figure that out. My emotions are my compass. But then I said, okay, but I don't want to just be normal, just around here kind of just managing my emotions. I want to use those emotions to take me to that next level, to live a life filled with more love, to live a happier life, a wealthier life, a healthier life. And I said, okay, well, you got to keep going, sis. You got to just keep going. Improve. Pay attention. Pay attention to what's around you. Pay attention to how you feel when certain things happen. Set your intention. And so that's why that was important to me. And that's why I'm saying to you all, you got to take the jump. And the jump starts first with your thoughts and your intentions. So I just want to thank you all also this week, for all of your support. We had so much fun this week. This was one of the best weeks ever. We made some great progress with Sajdah House, or the Elijah Muhammad House Museum. The 7th was the birth, 2 days ago now, the birth anniversary of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. People ask me, why you call it Sajdah House as well as the Elijah Muhammad House? Because it's also the Elijah Muhammad House, but it's Sajdah House because we adore him. Sajdah means the adoration, or one who adores God. We adore him. He adores God. And I decided to name it Sajdah because I felt like I couldn't do anything without my love of God and this specific body of knowledge that has taught me how to think and how to be and how to conduct myself and how to have the types of intentions. If you knew the intentions and the things going on in my mind, you heard me just say the $10 million a quarter intention that I have in mind. But I would even dare to think like that were it not for this body of knowledge that was introduced to the world by this great man. And so we had a great time. We also had our Friendships in All Walks of Life broadcast also on the 7th. It was so amazing. It was a lot of fun. If you did not see it, just flip over to the Sajdah House Instagram page and you can check it out. It was amazing. And it's just the beginning of all the ways in which we want to serve you there at the Elijah Muhammad House. I talked about that high tea. Can't wait to do that. That'll be fun. But in the meanwhile, we need your support. So go to sajdahhouse.com. Use the discount code HEM4847. Purchase your commemorative Elijah coin. If you want to make a donation, $5, $10, $20, $2,000, $200,000, $20,000. Just cash app us at $Mo today. That's MOETODAY. There's also a link in the bio to a donate page where you can donate there as well. Some people don't like donating on websites, so you can just do it via Cash App, $Mo today. What else do I need to tell you all? We're going to be coming out with some more t-shirts, so stay tuned for that. If you don't have a copy of my book, go get the copy of the book, and then stay tuned in to the hottest show on IG Live, or the hottest series on IG Live, which is the Mode Today series on Black Muslim businesses. You can check that out on Wednesdays right here at noon Eastern Time or 11 a.m. Central Time. But I will remind you, and you get exclusive information and invitations if you go to the Sajdah Circle of Winners, and just become a Sajdah Circle of Winners. Text Do For Self to 855-574-9099. Why do I call it the Sajdah Circle of Winners? Let me explain that real quick in the last couple of minutes. I'll go back to the very beginning. When I was growing up, I was in a lot of diverse environments. And I say culturally diverse, with a lot of people that didn't look like me. And what I noticed is that they had just really strong circles where that they could just plug into, whether we were taking a calculus test. They had somebody in their family that they could go ask about calculus, or somebody in their family circle that they could go and ask about those things. Calculus, running for student treasurer or whatever. And I started to just really notice that, and it kind of started to bubble. And then when I got in college, I started seeing it. But I really saw it when I went into the corporate world. And I saw how people would have friends and they would get jobs. They would have people that were in their circle that would help them with their businesses. And I started wanting that for myself, or I wanted to be able to provide that for other people. And I said, I know I'm not a trophy. I'm not a trophy for everybody to just go, oh, she's beautiful, or oh, she's smart. No, that's not. God don't make us to be trophies. He made us to share what he's put in us with other people. And so how do we do that? Because everybody don't want your knowledge. Everybody don't think you're cute. Everybody don't think you're smart. You don't vibe right with everybody. So you have to find your own circle of winners, your circle of influence, your circle of people. And when I started really studying the people who made America, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, I started studying the people who built these industrial based businesses in Chicago when I started studying the development and the owners of Sajdah House, like who built this house. And I said, okay, these people are meat packers. And they got friends who invented or distribute sewing machines. And they got friends who distribute and make clothes. And they had this circle. And they would come together at these big houses. And they would have meals. And they would have these meetings. And they would talk each other through their problems. So during one of the meetings, if you came and you said, hey, guess what? Such and such is going on with my child. That circle would talk you through how they could help you with whatever problem you were having with your child, even if it meant calling up somebody who knew somebody who knew somebody. If you said, you know what, I'm a meat packer, but I now want to be a meat canner. These are the types of people that are in that neighborhood that built these houses. And they said, okay, then let me call my friend over here that has the aluminum plant. And here's how you should set that up. And everybody went to work to converge around that one person. You see, they were tapping into something very divine and very magical. See, because as slaves, we're all taught me, 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 my. This is mine. I do this. It's all about me. And if I give to somebody else, or I do something for somebody else, then it's taken away from me. But let me tell you something. The minute you forget about whatever it is that you say you want, just take your mind off of it for a second, it starts to come to you. Trust and believe. Whatever you want is also seeking you as well. So I call it the Sajdah Circle of Winners because it's a place where, and if you kind of pay attention to a lot of what I do, it's a place where people can support one another. If there's a mistake made, we can help one another to correct the mistake and move forward and be a support network for one another and not allow people to come between us and drive a wedge between us because we're better together than we are apart. You got a great friend of yours and you guys are both intelligent. You're better together than you are apart. And so you figure out how to work together, how to settle your differences. So I call it the Sajdah Circle of Winners. Even with the Black Muslim Business Directory, what is that all about? That's all about us networking and supporting one another. You go to my page, you see I repost, people in my circle who have a business and anything that they got going on. I'll tell you about it. I'll come on here with this beautiful MGT cup from Queen Is I. Because I want you to go out there and go to her page and get her cups. I'll tell you, look, if you're looking for insurance, call my girl, Sister Aletha, hit her up, the Financial Architect 555. Whatever else I need to do, I am free and giving with that. Because I understand that if I hold on to something, then I'll never receive. But if I open up and allow things to flow through me, which means I have to give, I have to do, I have to be this way, as opposed to gimme, 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 take. No, this is, I'm giving. So what are we going to, that's why I said, I want to have high teas. I want to have these circle talks, these table talks, where we're talking about, what did the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad say about economic development? We play an excerpt of that. Then we have a beautiful circle of winners that talk about that. And we learn to use certain tools to put ourselves on another level, to take ourselves to the next level. See, because if you could do it by yourself, you'd have did it already. So don't act arrogant, like I can't help nobody else. I can't give to nobody else. I can't open my heart and allow anybody else to feel love. But my intention is that if you come around me and you're in my circle, that just from being that and being there, you're going to feel more love. You're going to feel happier. You're going to have more access to wealth in whatever way that I can. I want to be that asset to you. I don't want to be a liability. I want it to be where when you come around me, you feel like I feel more love. Some people don't know how to take that. Some people take that wrong. Some people say, okay, I know what it is. She want to get with me, or she want to do this or that with me. Listen, or she trying to take something from me. She can't be this nice. It ain't even about that. It ain't about whether or not you think I'm nice or not. It's about me allowing God to flow through me so that the things that I want, which is to be happier, healthier, wealthier, and to experience more love, will flow through me. So this is about pouring, that's right, Fab Consulting, pouring into others. And God will pour into you because you're doing his work right here on earth. So, all right, y'all, we're going to jump off of here today. And I thank you all for joining. Again, go to Queen Is I, get your beautiful cup. She's got all kind of other stuff out there. It's actually she's got a cool site, a lot of cool stuff that she does. Let's support her. Let's support the other interviewees that we've talked about. I'm drinking Mandela Masala Chai from Calabash Tea and Tonic. I know I'm getting some other tea from Sister Treshay. And so we'll talk about that tea when I get it and get a chance to taste it. But anyway, support one another, love one another. Make it an intention today to be an asset to everybody that comes to you. Make it an intention. Be intentional about how you treat people and how you handle yourself. All right, y'all. Peace and blessings. I'm out of here. Have a good time. Don't forget, text Do For Self to 855-574-9099. Click the link in the bio. There's all kind of cool stuff there. You can listen to past episodes of the show. You can buy my book. You can do all kind of stuff. So, all right, look, y'all, the game is free, but the services I charge for. So, you want some services? Just send me an email, mindofanentrepreneur@gmail.com. Peace and blessings, family.